Hello, everyone. My name is Blaire G. Hervey of the Corporate Strategist, Career Coaching, Brand Building, and Business Consultancy. I've spent over 15 years working with customers and clients in sales, tech, and sales enablement, learning about their stories and challenges to create a solution that best solves their problems. Now, every day for these 15 years, we had one day off that acknowledged and celebrated American workers, particularly those who are traditionally overlooked. And those are like essential or today's essentials workers, right? Now, here's a hint. We all acknowledge this day on Monday, and the celebration has evolved globally into an International Workers' Day celebrated in May. But its origin story is not the prettiest. On June 26, the American Railroad Union called for a boycott of all Pullman railway cars, crippling railroad traffic nationwide. To break the Pullman strike, the federal government dispatched troops to Chicago, unleashing a wave of protest and then riots, which you may know today as the Haymarket Riot of 1886. Now, in the wake of this massive unrest and in an attempt to repair ties with American workers, Congress passed an act making Labor Day a legal holiday. So yay, end of summer and no more white shoes, right? Well, not exactly. Labor Day is still celebrated in cities and towns across the United States with fireworks, picnics, and barbecues until 2020, of course, wanted to rain on our parade, right? Now, and that's all because of the story that has been told to you today and how commercialized this and many other holidays have become. Simply put, that's branding. We're conditioned to think that Labor Day is all about barbecues because that's what's presented to us. Personal branding works the same way, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Your personal brand is how your customers recognize and experience you. It's reflected in everything from your customer service style, your personal style, and how you advertise yourself. Now, what I want you all to think about is your personal brand, particularly in a customer-facing role. In other words, how are you showing up to the barbecue? Now me, I'm the outspoken one bringing a fun guest, the best dish, well, okay dish, but definitely a tasty libation. I'm also likely bringing the conversation in a heated debate. Now that's always been me, whether I'm knocking on doors, selling security systems, or facilitating a mini training on backing up to the cloud. I'm always authentic. So the first note that I'd like for you all to take when it comes to building your virtual brand or your personal brand virtually is be authentic. Remember, your brand is only as strong as your authenticity. No matter what phantasmagorical image you intend to portray of yourself, your customers will always find out who you really are. And if it's disingenuous, consistently indifferent, and not customer-centered, this will always break trust. So think about this. Have you shown up late to a meeting? Have you canceled at a moment's notice? Have you shown up to a call unprepared? Go ahead and put the one in the chat if you have. I should see tons of ones because we've all done it. We've all been guilty of it. But is that your reputation? As you build relationships with your customers, that's what you're doing. You're also building a reputation. Now, what your goal should be is to identify influencers and to create champions who can sell you and your solution on your behalf. So if you are bringing this reputation and the solutions that you're bringing are all about your best interest, your own self-interest, that is what your champions are going to sell. Now, if your customers are going dark, they're not revealing pertinent information with you, they won't introduce you to a decision maker or get you to a C-level executive, those are key indicators that you have not earned their trust. Now, there's this book out there, The Challenge Customer. It suggests as many as 6.8 customer stakeholders are directly involved in the typical B2B purchase. So if you're not earning the trust of your champion to build valuable relationships with other influencers, you are missing out on an opportunity to become much more multi-threaded and embedded in that organization. All right, so let's bring it back. So going back to building your brand, do you know your compelling brand story as well as you know your company's elevator pitch? Now, mine is very simple. Blaire is a badass business career coach, culture influencer, image consultant, making her mark with startups and tech giants experiencing rapid growth, but her true passion lies in innovating for women of color, helping them navigate corporate spaces, become change agents, and thrive personally and professionally. Now, that's my personal brand story. I say it easily and confidently because it's true and it aligns with my core values. Your story will create an unparalleled confidence, y'all. It's so much that it will fill up a room, but also connect you with folks who respect your vulnerability because they know who you are now, and it gives them permission to be themselves. At the end of the day, you have to remember that people buy from who? Put it in the chat. Everyone knows this. People buy from people. So knowing your story and making it compelling creates a memorable moment that helps your champions advocate for you and a solution you have genuinely crafted for them. Not the solution that gets you the spiff, not the solution that you're always selling and that's really easy to sell, but the solution that you've genuinely crafted for them based on the things that they've told you. Now, your personal brand statement should be 1 to 2 sentences. Okay, it should answer what you're really the best at, who you serve, and how you uniquely do that. 1 to 2 sentences. And no one can answer that for you, right? No one else should be able to dictate that for you, not even your organization. Okay. I recall a leader once bragging about putting a mirror up to a woman's face who seemingly had an unpleasant resting face. Y'all know what the other term for that is called, right? As he often shared this story, I always thought, what if she was okay with how she looked in those moments? That was perfectly fine. I want you all to feel empowered to put the mirror up to yourself and decide how you want to represent your personal brand. That is completely up to you. But what you have to do as well is be intentional. So what was the first thing that I said? So you have to be authentic. Second is be intentional. Put that in the chat so you don't forget. Think about what impression do you want to leave? We made that decision as soon as we wipe the coal out of our eyes, right? And you throw in your infamous Zoom shirt or the universal Peloton top or whatever is not wrinkled that day. But that's also a display of your effort. On my calls, I make sure to bring a look, right? It's because I'm creating an overall memorable experience. I'm preparing for you. I have prepared for you today. You're my audience, and I'm going to give you something that you will never forget. You all have the ability to do the same. Winging it is for the birds, y'all. Winging it is for the birds. So be prepared to have a thought-provoking conversation that can truly help influence the buying process. Your customers are always coming to you with that RFP and that you've checked off the boxes, everything that you can possibly do because of what they've said. But what if you had an opportunity to influence that buying process, take it a step backwards, and help them think about some things they hadn't thought about before? So be sure to take a moment to be intentional about your personal brand. And that could be casual and personable, right? You don't have to get all dolled up if that's not your thing. But also remember, casual clothes don't mean casual conversation. That's where you'll lose your customer every time. So small talk is cute, right? Small talk is valuable. I'm a Sag. I'm not with the small talk. I'm very direct, but it's very valuable to build rapport and in every interaction. What you want to think about is, what is the outcome here? What do I want the outcome to be? You have an opportunity to control that narrative by truly listening to what is unsaid and creating that memorable experience. So you're probably thinking, Blaire, you have thrown a lot at me. So I've got to come to a virtual meeting. I have to be unwrinkled. I got to be authentic. And now you're telling me I need to be intentional as well. How do I do all of that? Very simple. Put this in the chat. ALEI. ALEI. Ask, listen, elevate, inform. So if you really want to be intentional and if you want to think about what your outcome is, there's an opportunity to level up the dialogue, but you have to do your research. Do your research on the customer and the industry, then ask questions and listen. We usually want to come with our elevator pitch every single time and tell everyone how great our solution is and how many products we have, how long we've been in business. But what if you actually took the time to learn about your customer and work backwards? Discover what plagues their business, what's trending, and what could be a threat. Then elevate that conversation by informing them of potential challenges. Now you're the fixer. You're the problem solver. You're the Olivia Pope of sales. You're welcome, right? Now you're the trusted advisor who can influence this buying process with that research. You now have something to bring to the table when it's time to eat at the barbecue. All right. All right. So lastly, be culturally competent. Cultural competence is the ability to understand, communicate, and effectively interact with people across cultures. So whether or not your book of business is global, you should be thinking about the impact and potential impact of recent events on their business and on them as individuals. So do your homework. Learn more to share more. Humanize, empathize, and if you make a mistake, guess what? Apologize. Start thinking about who you can reach out to who may be overlooked. If you truly want to expand those connections, you have to start thinking, where is there an opportunity to be on the cutting edge while I'm in alignment with my core values? Some things that I would start thinking about, how can Zoom connect Black female founders with more funding? How can Zoom become much more accessible for differently abled communities? Or even simply create virtual backgrounds to honor National Hispanic Heritage Month. Normalize thinking outside of your box. Think about who you would bring to the barbecue. Is it often someone who looks like you or thinks like you? Okay, we've all been guilty of that as well. So start thinking about who else can you include and introduce your customer to elevate that dialogue. Other customers who may be experiencing some of those same challenges. So you're going to attract them with your brand, which includes your photo and your self-quoted banner and your recommendations and your lively 3-sentence bio on LinkedIn, right? But reel folks in by asking for 30 minutes of their time to learn something specific. We spend all this time collecting all of those connections on platforms like LinkedIn, but are we truly taking the time to reach out to folks and ask something specific? Now, remember, some folks are exhausted. Understand and respect that, but also know that there are some folks out there who will certainly oblige if you're confident about who you are and what you need. In order to truly expand your connections, you all, you have to be those 3 things that we mentioned. Be authentic, be intentional, and be culturally competent. Allow your brand story to be told in a way you want to be remembered. All right. So that's all I have for you today. I'd love to hear or see if there are any questions from the audience as well. And Emily, I'll pass that back to you.
All right. We do have one question in here, okay. And then I think we'll be at time after that. Okay. How do you make customers feel unique and valued?
Absolutely. That's a great question. I would definitely say, of course, do your research. When you come to a customer and you've told them what you've learned about them, and that could be as simply as going to their website, reading that press release, learning about what's going on with them in the news, and even Googling the individual, that particular decision maker, bringing that information to the conversation always makes them feel special. But also once they start sharing some of these things, acknowledge what they've said. Let them know that you've heard them and apply that as you're creating solutions for them as well. Emily, do we have time for any other questions or are we about there?
We are at time, so thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you all. It was a pleasure speaking with you all. I hope to see you on LinkedIn and I hope to connect with you all in the future as well.